What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here. And what I got for your face balls today are two brand new Spydercos. So let's just get into them here real quick. This one here happens to be the brand new Manix 2. This is a St. Nick's dealer exclusive. And it is rocking CPM 4V blade steel with some really nice looking red G10. And I'll show you the paperwork real quick if you want to pause and check that out. The dealer exclusives come with these letters here, which just explain the knife, the materials, and all that stuff. So there's really some nice information here if you're interested to check out that stuff. And then of course it comes with your standard page here that's all about the Manix 2 and proper maintenance, care, warranty, all that good stuff. So let's get the box out of the way. So really this is, a standard Manix 2. The differences here are all the blacked out hardware, black pocket clip, DLC coated blade, and then of course the CPM 4V blade steel. St. Nick's has been doing pretty much every Spyderco model, or at least the better ones, the PM2, the Para 3, the Shaman, the Manix, all in this black and red configuration. Really cool looking knife, and you guys know that I really enjoy the Manix, so this one's a cool one to me for sure. One thing I did want to do, I'm pretty sure everyone knows the size of the Manix, so we won't really get into dimensions and whatnot. But this is really just a first look anyway. However, we are going to check and see what the factory sharpness is. Hopefully, you guys can see that. So, let's see what we got here. This is brand new right out of the box. Golden, Colorado, factory edge. 170 is the score there, or the 170 grams for the Manix in the Golden factory. All right. So now we'll talk about this one a little more. This one happens to be, knocking stuff over here. This happens to be the Spyderco Watu. It is spelled W-A-T-U. And I'll show you the paperwork that comes with this. This is not a dealer exclusive. This is just a standard model that Spyderco is offering. This happens to be part of their ethnic line, and so there's some history in there of the design, as well as information about the knife if you want to pause and read that. Some of you might remember a knife from a couple of years ago, the Spyderco Chockway. Very, very similar in design. However, the construction was quite a bit different, but the overall look is almost identical. The Chockway was a little bit larger. I think it had, it was about 8.5 inches overall length on the Chockway, if I remember correctly. Grab my tape measure here. So this one here measures about 7.25 inches overall. So the Chockway had like a 3 3/4 inch blade and a 4 3/4 inch handle. This one here, the Watu, has got a 4 1/8 inch handle, and the blade, total blade, is about 3 1/4, and you've got just under a 3-inch cutting edge, about 2.8 inches of cutting edge there. This happens to be a compression lock, where the original Chockway, I can't remember, I think it was a steel frame lock, if I remember right. It definitely was a frame lock. I don't remember if it was steel or titanium, but definitely a frame lock, and it was S30V. This Watu here was made in Taichung, Taiwan, and it is rocking CPM 20CV blade steel. This is a real interesting design. It comes from the Congo region of Africa, and this is a knife design that's been around for lots and lots of years. Just a general purpose, kind of everyday knife for the tribes and whatnot in Central and Southern Africa. just a really great design, and I really like the implementation here. The handle's very, very neutral, super comfortable. I like the thumb ramp. There is no jimping on the thumb ramp. However, you do have a little bit of jimping under here in this kind of half choil area that goes up on the blade. But the grip area overall, what do I do with my measuring stick there? Grip area is about 4.25 total grip area, and it's good. Really lightweight. That's one of the things that really surprised me when I got this out of the box, is just how lightweight it is. Blade stock on this is very thin as well, so we'll get into some of those dimensions. Let's get a weight on this thing first. So exactly 3 ounces. This, I can see this making a really, really great EDC knife. I'm sure some people, the design is a bit polarizing for some, I'm sure. I happen to kind of like it. The handle scales on here is this, what they call peel ply carbon fiber, or laminated carbon fiber. It's a thin sheet of carbon fiber that's laminated over textured G10. It looks fine. It's nothing. I don't know. I'm okay with it. They've gotten a little better at it. This seems to be a little bit better quality material than like the original Sages had some of this going on. It just feels a little bit better and looks a little fancier. So I think they've made some improvements on that material. Let's pull a couple measurements on this thing. Like I said, blade stock on this is pretty thin. Yeah, so 99 thousandths on the blade stock. And let's get a behind the edge measurement here. So you're looking about 14 thousandths. Yeah, somewhere between that 15 thousandths range, which is really, really nice for a Spyderco. Generally, they're 20 to 25 thousandths on most of the stuff, but this is a real nice, full flat grind blade that is just well done. And 20 CV blade steel, like I said, if you like the looks of this knife, I think this is going to be a really good one. And it's lightweight, nice usable blade shape, and certainly an interesting looking knife. It's a little bit large in this dimension for how small it is otherwise. Just real quick. Yeah, it's about 1 3/8 inches. So it's going to take up some real estate in the pocket, that's for sure. But, that'll probably set off to the side. Everything on this side's smooth, so in the pocket, there's nothing. It's not really going to be uncomfortable in any way, I can't imagine. I haven't carried this around at all, so this is, just kind of a first impression. I do like the deep carry wire pocket clip. It is reversible for right or left tip up only carry. But action on it's good. Compression lock. This is similar to the Shaman. In the aspect that you have a little bit of the blade that comes up and bumps your finger when you're actuating the compression lock. It's just something you have to get used to. Once you get it down, you can get it to drop, and as long as you get your finger out of the way fast enough, then it'll stay there. But if you hold your finger, that's where the blade stops, right there, or at least for me, if I just hold my finger there. However, see if I can. Nope. Yeah. Either way, if you get your finger out of the way fast enough, and it just takes a little practice and whatnot to do that. But action seems really good. I'm assuming this is riding on phosphor bronze, but let's check that out. So it looks like we're T8 here. Let's go from this side. It seems a little tight and didn't want to go. Well, maybe. Oh, before I do that, check the sharpness, right? Getting ahead of myself here. Let's see how Taichung is doing on their factory sharpness here. 180 grams. So in this little battle here between Golden Colorado and Taichung, Golden wins by 10 grams. So not bad. Both of those are stop it. Sorry about that. I set my sharpness tester down and the dogs thought someone's knocking at the door. Another thing real quick, we'll do a little size comparison on the Watu here. So you can see up there, actually, let me flip these around. Up against the Manix 2, and then here it is with the Para 3 lightweight, or I'm sorry, no, just the standard Para 3. So you can see pretty similar in size to the Para 3. So like I said, it's going to be a really nice usable size for EDC. But let's take a look and see what this thing is riding on. The pivot screw here is a T8. Definitely got some Loctite in there. So I'm just taking it nice and slow. There we go. Yeah, there was quite a bit of Loctite in there. You got T8 back here on the pocket clip as well, and there is a standoff for the pocket clip, so those screws are going to have to come out. Actually, I'm going to leave that side on if I can. Yep, that looks like that's going to work out. And then you've got two body screws here that are T6, and hopefully those don't have nearly as much Loctite on them. Excellent, they do not, or that one didn't anyway. Perfect. Loctite is a, yeah, terrible thing on knives. I use just on certain knives, I put a little bit of Loctite, but a very, very small amount. So you can see here the black G10 on the inside. There's a little bit of a assembly lube there. You got your relief cut there for the compression lock, and there is your compression lock bar. You got the pin up here that makes up the compression lock. Looks like might have a ceramic detent ball. We'll see here in a second. There we go. Get this liner up off of here. It's a little bit tight. There we go. Get the blade out of there. Just got to wiggle this around a bit to get the liner off. So the holes are, I don't know if they're D-shaped quite yet or not. They look like they could be. But with the way that these back spacers are constructed, they all have a, there we go. So they are not D-shaped holes. You can see there we're riding on phosphor bronze washers. But all the barrel spacers have a standoff that or a mill down area that goes up into the through the liner and into the scale. You can see you've got a couple stop pins here. So you've got one down here below the pivot, and then of course the one up top for your compression lock, and there is your stop pin track. So, oh, and this has also got a pivot bushing. So one of the reasons why the action on this is really nicely done is because of that little guy right there. So nicely done knife, certainly well constructed. You know, Spyderco's Taichung plant always does a really good job. Most people consider that to be their best factory. So we'll go ahead and I'm just going to drop a little bit of lube on here like that. Go ahead and drop the blade on there. Put a little bit of lube right there. And then we will get that phosphor bronze washer on. And then throw down the liner. Just like that. There we go. Get these two body screws in here. So, like I said, the Watu, I definitely foresee this being a pretty popular model. You know, unless people are just totally against the aesthetics of this knife. I personally think it's kind of cool looking, but to each their own. You know, everybody likes something different, but it's most certainly comfortable in hand and lightweight, so it's really kind of checking all the boxes. Got thin blade stock, deep carry wire pocket clip, so it's really got, you know, a lot going for it for sure. So that's really cool. And then, you know, the fact that it is you can see the blade centering there is perfect. I got the pivot too tight. But the fact that it has, you know, a lot of historical significance, sorry, with, you know, the history of it being the Central African knife, and a cool shape. I really like it. Some people refer to this as a coffin shaped handle with the triangle shaped blade, and these holes actually offer some importance as well. These were originally fixed blades in Africa, so so they weren't folders like this, and obviously not compression locks and what have you. But these are all modern materials, but the holes played a significant part. Originally, those were there so you could lash this thing to a stick or whatever and turn it into a spear. Use it for chopping, you know, put a longer handle on it, that sort of thing. So there were all sorts of reasons why the holes were there. And, you know, it just adds to the functionality of the knife. And obviously, you know, the fixed blades that are actually made in Central Africa are much larger than this. You know, I think primarily in these knives were like 12 to 14 inches long. They had like a 6 to 8 inch long blade. So definitely a much larger knife. But they were used for all kinds of things. So again, really nice construction on this. Works extremely well. And this is brand new out of the box, so it's going to get better with time. But really cool knife. Yeah, that's about all I had for your face balls today. A couple new Spydercos to show off here. The St. Nick's Manix 2 and the Spyderco Watu. Two pretty cool knives. So I wanted to give a shout out to Omaha Knife. Thank you so much, Ann and Curtis over there. If you guys are doing any online shopping or whatnot during these crazy times that we're living in, go check out Omaha Knife. They're great folks over there, and they can help you out with all sorts of different things. So yeah, check out their website and check out all the stuff that they have in stock. Also, Northwest Knives out in Meridian, Idaho. Also great people out there. Aaron and his whole family. Yeah, just great people. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching the videos. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. And we will catch you next time. Later.